Hey, it's FlummoxKid here. Thanks for checking out my video. Have you ever wondered about the Magic the Gathering artists that make our favorite game come to life? Well, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell for when new videos go live. Also, leave a comment with your favorite artists and we'll definitely feature them in an upcoming video. Now shuffle up and let's go. GG. Want to talk a bit about the work of Adam Paquette. Some of the stuff you might have seen if you're playing Constructed Standard right now. He's also done plenty of other work. Let me make sure if I got my my stuff here together. And the one that kind of stood out for me are a few of the Shocklands that he has drawn the artwork for that are in current standard right now. The first one, alphabetically, being Blood Crypt. And that is the red-black Shockland. And it's definitely got a feel that Rakdos inspires of death, mayhem, and carnage. So definitely like that. The next piece, alphabetically, that you might have seen around in here is where'd it go? Oh, I see that. Definitely, this done definitely a lot when I play mono red. For some reason, it always seems like I always run into some sort of Jeskai or other deck like that. Deafening Clarion for a white, red, and a green. You can either choose one or both. Deals 3 damage to each creature, or creatures you control gain lifelink. I've usually seen it as the wipe more so than the lifelink, but that will definitely be something that will ruin your board, especially if you're playing red little weenie guys. Next, where are we? Oh, I lost my bits here. He also did some of the alternate artwork, the Comic-Con artwork for the God Eternals from War of the Spark. They usually put these out as a collector's set, and it seems pretty sweet right there. Zombie God here. So if you can sort of see in the negative space, it's definitely a god right there. I haven't seen too much of this in standard play, but he did the whole, or 4 of the pieces, so that we'll definitely see that in action. Kefnet is the next one that I have seen. I don't think this is on Magic Arena yet, but I've seen this definitely in the regular version in Standard, especially when you're playing some sort of control deck, because that's usually how that works. I wanted to open this artwork up a little bit. Apparently I'm pressing the wrong button. Perhaps not. Because this is one that does go all the way to the edge of the card. So you get the full effect here. We get back down to here, a little bit up to here. And so you get the full effect of the I love how he uses the negative space as the actual shape of the god. That's pretty sweet. The next one is the white legendary god is Oketra. Let's get that up there, so you can see how all these sort of fit together, and you can see the that makes the shape of the god. And the God Eternal Rhonas. I don't see him too much in Standard, but I could definitely imagine how nutty he'd be if he ever found his home in a green stompy kind of deck. That's definitely quite quite the rude guy. And another fun part is if in case you haven't ever noticed this, one of the cards that I like using for my background here is done by Adam Paquette. And that would be Jace's Sanctum. Let me fix the shape on this real quick. But yeah, it's a nice, calm, serene time for reflection and for study kind of scene, because that's what it does. It's an enchantment that makes your instants and sorceries cost 1 colorless less to cast, and whenever you cast an instant or a sorcery, you scry 1. So there you can see how that below that. And plus, it looks like I'm sitting in his office. I'm studying in his sanctum. That's pretty. I enjoy that a lot. That's why I made him a background. And oh, I thought I went back there. With the he's not in standard right now, but he is available in historic. The Karn, Scion of Urza. Adam Paquette did the Mythic edition for that. Let me pop that up here real quick. And I believe this was from when you bought a box that you would get like a special Mythic version of a card. If I'm wrong, that definitely let me know about that. But I think it's sort of a masterpiece series kind of thing. Speaking of other masterpieces, Hangarback Walker. When this was in standard, this was definitely something to be worried about. I did see some play for a while in some versions of modern Affinity. I know I sometimes bring it in as a sideboard kind of thing, because you can make flyers, and flyers usually helped out a bit when you're doing in modern at the time. For any of you folks that also love playing red, this one piece was also done by Adam Paquette. The Lightning Strike. They sort of brought this in as sort of not really a functional reprint, but a fixed version of Lightning Bolt. It cost a little bit more than a Lightning Bolt did, and I think they felt that the Lightning Bolts were too powerful at the time. But so they made this, and it still sees play, and it's still definite. Definitely something to be worried about, especially if you just need that to take you over the top and put away the game. I can send it right to the face. The next one, for any of you folks playing modern, especially if you play along the lines of Storm. Not even sure if that's a thing even in modern anymore, but I'll get that up here if I can remember how to put the card picture up there. Manamorphose for a 1 hybrid red-green. Then you can make 2 mana of any color combination, and then you draw a card. So basically, it pays for itself. You can start playing blue, even if you don't have a blue out on the board, and definitely count towards your storm counter. He doesn't really fit with the God Eternals, but another piece from the Comic-Con set that Adam did was the piece or the artwork for Nicol, the Dragon God from War of the Spark. It follows the same idea where the negative space makes up the outline of the Nicol body, and then a nice cool scene in the actual body of the shape. Let's see, what other piece? Now, I like this next one is standard legal. I do like playing the alternate art version, but Adam did the original art section for Throne of Eldraine, the Realm-Cloaked Giant. It's a board wipe and a giant beat stick in one. You can wipe it, and then next turn, put this guy out and start beating the hell out of him. That's what you kind of need to do, and sometimes in control decks. Now this next one, I do try to use once in a while in blue-white control. And it definitely is kind of a sideboard piece because it doesn't really need to come in too often. But when it does, it definitely earns its keep. And that is Revoke Existence. It's a sorcery speed, exile, target artifact or enchantment. So if you need to get something out of the board, there you go. Get rid of it. Get it done. Next one is Sacred Foundry. Another shockland, this time being for the Boros guild, red-white. And they usually, Boros is a warring kind of guild. Since they do touch white, they usually follow the law, and red is an aggressive, so it's an aggressive, law-abiding folk, and that's what they end up doing. Usually get them pretty quick and pretty strong, and then they go nuts and beat you for it. Let's see. When I did play Modern, I liked playing this card. I even got a full play set of it before I stopped playing, and that would be Steel Overseer. Technically, it's not legal in Standard. I think since it was printed in one of the M19 or M20 sets, it is technically legal in Historic. I want to say it is. Let me see where it was. Yes, Steel Overseer was printed at M20. So, not this version, but the original version could be played in Historic. I do like this one because the masterpiece artwork were all pretty sweet. Another piece that I'm still trying to save up my wild cards for my anything green-red deck is the Art Temple of Abandon. That's the red-green Scryland, and definitely shows the feeling of the Gruul color scheme. Apparently he did also a bunch of temples. Temple of Epiphany is the red-blue Izzet. Like definitely the Electrical Storm kind of feel. Definitely some aggressive, crazy thought, which would be both the red and the blue feeling. He also did a promo. Did he do the original one for that? No, he just did the promo, the Magic Online promo for Temple of Mystery. And that's a cool edge of the mountain or edge of the waterfall kind of library institution scene. Don't think he did the original for... Okay, he also did the Temple of Silence Scryland for M20. The black and white Orzhov. A lot of action on some of these cards, even though they're static photos. Definitely a lot of movement and a lot of feeling about how these guilds work out. Now, I also, excuse me, another one I play with the alternate art version, because I'm kind of a sucker for the alternate art, but the original art for this one was done by Adam Paquette, the Great Henge. We saw that working in the Teamer Adventurer's Clover deck, and that definitely can help you out, especially if you're in a tight bind and need a quick little touch of life to get you through the end of it.